Hello and welcome to Matt's Casual Cooking. And today we are going to be making supreme biscuits and gravy. Very fun and very tasty dish. So we're going to go over all the ingredients and how to put it together, and let's get to it. Alright folks, so before we go over the ingredients today, it's super easy. Hitting that subscribe button. It's a really great way to get fun recipes in your inbox every week, and it helps you come along the food journey with me. So please subscribe, and let's get back to the ingredients. Now for the biscuits, you're going to need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. You're going to need 4 teaspoons of baking powder. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of sugar. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of salt. And you're going to need 3/4 teaspoons of cream of tartar. You're also going to need 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk, or just 1 cup of milk. Now you're also going to need either 3 cups of butter or half a cup of butter and 1/4 cup of shortening. Just really dependent on what you want to use. Now for the gravy itself, what you are going to need is 1 pound of sausage. Now you can use regular or you can use a flavored, but I actually like to use the hot sausage. That's actually my favorite in this. It gives us a nice little kick. Now you're also going to need 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. You're also going to need 2.5 cups of half and half. And you're also going to need, I don't have them out, but you can have 1/8 of a teaspoon of dried thyme, dried crushed rosemary, and crushed red pepper flakes. But I do have, what I like to put in is freshly ground black pepper. And even though it's in here, it's got a little grinder on the top to actually grind the peppercorns. So I do like to use that. So we're going to go over how to put together the biscuits first, and I will see you then. Alright folks, so for the biscuits initially, what you want to do is you want to mix all your dry ingredients together and your butter, and you just want to leave out the milk for the time being. So what you want to do is, you can see I've got a pie cutter, and just like last week with the walnut bars, what you want to do is we're just going to cut it in. Well, I am using shortening today with the butter too. And again, what we're looking for while we're cutting it in is we're just looking for this to resemble like coarse crumbs, and that's really what we're looking for. So go ahead and do that, and then once you're done, we're going to move on to the next portion. So I will see you then. Alright folks, so you can see we're done. Pretty much this is mostly it's very like a crumb-like texture. And what you want to do is you want to get out a fork, and just create like a well in the middle of it. And then you're just going to take your milk or buttermilk, pour it all in at once. Make sure I get everything I can out of it. And then you're just going to take your fork and you're just going to stir it together until everything is combined, and the dough is going to be like a moist or wet, very wet mixture. And that's really what we're looking for. So once you've done that, what you want to do is you want to get out some extra flour, and you want to get out a space where we're going to put this down on. So go ahead and do that, and I will see you then. Alright folks, so you can see I got it on the floured surface, and what you want to do initially is once you put some on the bottom, you want to go ahead and put some on the top so it's not as sticky. And it's just going to kind of look like a large mess. Now what we want to do, and if you need some extra flour also, is we're just going to kind of pat it together You can kind of see it's crumbly still. And we're just going to mash it all together. Now what we're looking for is we're not looking for necessarily anything smooth. We're just looking for, when we do this, that it all really just sticks together. That's really all we're looking for. So then once that's done, what you want to do is pat this into about a triangle, or not a triangle, I'm sorry, a rectangle, at about 3/4 inches. And then what we're going to do is you're going to want to get out a 2.5 inch cutter, and we're going to go from there. So I will see you then. All right, folks. So we are done. This is about 3/4 inch. And here's about a 2.5 inch dough cutter. Now, what you want to do, obviously, just go ahead, press down, and just kind of pull it out how you have to. Now, once you've done that, go ahead and put it on a ungreased baking sheet about 1 inch apart. And I've already got that off to the side. And then what you want to do is, once you've done cutting it, go ahead and take your dough, fold it back on each other, and just repeat the process until the majority of it is done. So go ahead and do that, and I will see you at the next step. All right, folks, so you can see we are done. And you're going to get about 12 to 15 biscuits from this, depending on kind of how you cut it. And I've got a couple here where I just kind of formed into the dough cutter because there wasn't a lot really to cut. So do what you need to get this done. So what we are going to do is we're going to turn it to 450, and we're going to cook for 10 to 12 minutes or until they are golden brown. So go ahead and do that, and then once I pop them in, we're actually going to go over the gravy, how to do that. So I will see you then. All right, folks. Now, while our biscuits are cooking, we're going to start the gravy so it's nice and hot just when the biscuits are nice and hot getting out. So what we want to do first is you just want to cook your sausage until it is brown. And then what we're going to do is you want to have your milk, flour, and butter ready for this, and you want to get out a whisk. So go ahead and do that, and leave your seasoning off to the side for the time being. And I will see you then. Alright, folks, so the meat is done, and what I've already done is I've added in the butter. So what we want to do is just add in the flour. Don't just kind of dump it in one place, just kind of spread it around. Then take your milk, all right. So what you want to do now, take your whisk, and we're just going to want to get the flour broken up into the liquid, and the butter's in there. It's probably pretty much melted at this point. Now what we're looking for is you want to keep whisking, and what you're just looking for is for the sauce to really just thicken up. And I'm going to let you figure out how thick you actually do want your sauce, but once you've got the thickness you want, get out your black pepper and your other spices if you want, and then that will be close to the end. So I will see you then. All right, folks, so you can see our gravy is done, and it's pretty thick at this point, so not necessarily it's going to get any thicker. But what I've already done is I've added the thyme to this, and you can this is when you want to add all your other spices. And what you are going to do, like with the pepper, now if you don't have fresh, the regular is fine. I do like a little fresh pepper, ground pepper into this. And you're just going to want to put as much as you want to taste. And I think that's actually enough. Then just what you want to do, just stir it together Give it a couple good old whisks. And now our biscuits are still cooking, but I'm going to turn the heat off on this for the time being because it's pretty hot right now. So once the biscuits are done, I will see you at the end. All right, folks, so we are done. And you can see our biscuits are done. They're very nice and soft on the inside. And for the best part now, let's take your gravy. This is one of my favorite things. Not all the time, but a good amount of time. It's got a lot of nice flavor to it. I just really enjoy this. So this is a great breakfast. This is a great comfort food. This is really good for, well, any time. If you did enjoy making this recipe, like, subscribe, share. Please leave a comment below. I want to know what you think of this. I really enjoy hearing from everybody. So I want to thank you again for watching, and come along next week for another fun food journey.